Hey, Laura J, sitting in a round room, not the one we're going to be in on Saturday, but a different one. And I am sitting here contemplating the way in which I wish to make this sixth day of the 66 Days to Transform Your Self Image series relatable, ethical, altruistic, and loving, which is the acronym for REAL. And the real truth of it is that without support, we don't have enough energy to be able to continue giving out. And I've been pouring out for a really long time without asking for what I need back in return. And I've been trying to give people what I believe they need, and yet, unless you are relatable, ethical, altruistic, and loving in the way that you ask and listen and create the opportunity to address that which those that stated they had needs need and agree they want to be taken on a journey into themselves, the depths of who they are, the emotional elements that we oftentimes push down in some not now moment that ultimately holds a part of us until we go back and extract it from the memory and reintegrate the energy into our energetic system. And so the real truth is that I, as I wrote in my book, have had an abusive relationship with marijuana for years. And when I do it, I often use it to then push me through when I'm trying and trying and trying and going and going and going, and it works for a while. But then you also find, if not in denial, or I can say I find myself just dragging lower energetically because of the need for that which is not in my system to the level that it was, and then needs more in order to get that which before was less until the resistance was increased and then more was needed. And I say this because today is day one again of not partaking in marijuana. And ultimately, I'm needing to do a detox and really feel through all of those emotions I've been denying for the last few weeks while I've been flying higher again, because I have just come back to an old friend that doesn't really like me, uses me, doesn't appreciate me specifically, but only because I don't appreciate her. And a friend has been sharing about marijuana being a master plant, and how ultimately, when in an ayahuasca ceremony, she had seen the stickiness around the heart because that's what marijuana does. It doesn't allow us to actually feel, and if we cannot feel, we cannot heal. I remember before I left England, I had a really switched on spiritual friend, and she said, don't close down or off your heart. She said something around not shutting down the heart in terms of my ability to feel and connect with my environment and those who are in it. And the heart is so significant because it is the center point of where the soul is able to be whole in this now moment. And our energies and motions take us out of this moment or keep us bundled up without being able to keep it flowing. So I'm being real about where I'm at, because in the 66 days to transform your self-image, I'm in it with you. I'm moving through my own issues, and I also have a lot more skill and value to contribute than I have been offering to the level that I could, because I thought that I could share these kind of messages and help somebody through a process through my own experience and the words that I share. But the reality is we need to know that we matter, that we're seen, and that we're heard. And if the video is only just offering that which then you work through your own system, you're not feeling heard, seen, or valued specifically. Maybe to an extent, but without the interactivity, you can't go as deep. And when you can't go deep on your own, or you don't know how to own that which you didn't know how to own before as to why you didn't, it's a perplexing situation to find yourself in that can be very confusing and get you into your head. And so I am going to take my hair out, as I simply say, without a doubt. When I am looking after me better, I am able to offer more support and help. But the other reality is that I don't know what you need specifically, because I have never walked a day in your shoes. I've only been in mine. I've walked in a few other people's pairs of shoes, literally, but I have never walked a day in anyone else's shoes, and neither have you. And I think we all need to kind of get back to that remembrance that we all have stuff we're working through and on and out, and we need to be able to be there for one another in a way that creates a sacred container for our own unfolding. Which is precisely what Saturday is going to be. In the morning, it's going to be a round room experience where we're going to connect in community and find out who's who, who's doing what, where are your energies going, what projects are we working on. And I think when we actually go around a conscious container that is sacred with people that are all working on their individual projects, and that ultimately have a desire to add value and are doing it in our own ways, in our own communities. When we can come together, we can expand what we're able to do, because now it's not just one clan, now it's all the clans, because that's ultimately how we can heal ourselves into greater wholeness, by coming together and not seeing the hues but the whole of us, which is the full spectrum compared to just aspects of the spectrum. And so this message today is my real account to you and to me too, to say I have a responsibility to myself to be clean and pure and do my best in order to heal, so that I can hold the sacred space and container and frequency that is required for people to feel the embodiment of a different energetic signature that makes them say, ooh, I want to be around that. I don't know what you're doing, but I like it. I like how it feels. And that is how we heal. We find what we feel good with and what makes us feel good. And then we can sink into the now moment, because our nervous system is able to settle when we're feeling safe. And then we can actually find the next place that we need to go. So I hope this message serves you. And I appreciate if this resonates or doesn't resonate for you, because marijuana is a teacher that we all have a unique relationship with. And some of those relationships are really abusive and toxic. And some of the relationships can be easier. I don't know all of anything. But what I do know is that for me, even though it's something that I know a lot of people that love it and a lot of people that hate it, I need to choose for myself based on the guidance I've received for years. And I really need to just own it and stick with that. And so I'm doing that. And I'm sharing it here because maybe this is where you can actually share back in return and say, I'm struggling in my own way. And you can do it by sending me an email, and maybe we can do some work together. Or you can come out to an event where we can do it in a group. Or maybe you need to do some journaling in order to work through your own reasons as to why you do what you do or don't do what you won't do. And so do I. But ultimately, if we're high, then we go into the lows and the ups and the downs. But if we can just raise the normal state to a higher level naturally, we can hold it. which is what I'm working to do with this series. Thanks.